Hello, for today we prepared a presentation about CSR challenges of companies, especially of Under Armour, and our own experiences in CSR. And yeah, first something general. What is CSR? CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, and it's a business approach that contributes to sustainable development by delivering economic, social, and environmental benefits for all stakeholders.
So there are two different types of dimensions, the internal one and the external one. First I'm going to talk about the internal one. This one focuses on organizational practices with respect to internal stakeholders. For example, the HR management, health and safety at work, corporate agility to change, management of environmental impact and natural resources. Then the external one, this of course focuses on organizational practices towards external stakeholders and activities outside the company's premises. For example, the local community, human rights, global environment concerns, and his business partners.
Okay, so considering the corporate responsibilities, first it's really important to mention the four aspects: the economic, legal, social, and ethical aspects. These are things that each company needs to consider when talking about operating. Regardless of the corporate social responsibility activities, which can mean a challenge to each company. But why can it be a challenge? It's because change is not an easy progress. Also, sometimes CSR activities do not seem to be cost effective. To be able to change into a CSR direction, companies need to take some challenges, which ones include taking the right risks and opportunities, as well as avoiding selective hearing, which means that companies need to hear their customers and take their opinions into consideration. Also, providing even approaches is very important. Seeing corporate social responsibility as an innovation is also a very important part of step to be an environmental friendly company. But the overall most important aspect is to be able to change, because this gives an access to each company to go into an environmental friendly direction.
So as we all know, a big part of our project this block was to analyze the corporate social responsibility that the company Under Armour is doing, which is one of the leading enterprises when it comes to selling sports apparel. So they have made some huge claims when it comes to transparency and how sustainable they are, and have claimed that they have sustainability woven into their DNA. Unfortunately, some of those claims have turned out to be empty, and Under Armour is not really doing anything to be that environmentally friendly as they're claiming. One of the things that they were accused of was greenwashing, and that accusation came after they were accused of using cotton derived from slave labor in Uzbekistan, which is actually going against the guidelines from the Fair Labor Association that they're partners with. Another thing that makes us think that Under Armour is not being as genuine about their sustainability claims is the fact that on a couple of websites that rank how sustainable actually a company is, they have gotten very bad scores. For example, with the environmental dimension SSC's peer benchmarking analysis, they were one of the worst companies among their peers. Their competitors did much better. They got the weakest scores in their sector in all aspects. For example, they got the worst score in the water sector category. They got the worst score when it comes to climate change, and they had the weakest score in the energy category as well. And comparing to their competitors such as Nike and Adidas, there was an enormous gulf between their score and Under Armour's score. Nike was first with a score of 20, Puma followed with a score of 19, and Adidas got a score of 14, while Under Armour got the lowest score of 4, which, as we can see, is very bad compared to the companies that they claim are their biggest competitors. Another thing that has proven us that they're not as sustainable as they claim is that on the website Rank a Brand, they got e-label, which also means a don't buy, because they answered only 3 out of 63 questions on their website when it comes to sustainability. They did not provide any additional information to a lot of factors that have to do with that. So as we can see, the challenges that they're faced is not really being able to change since they have not made any progress. The claims that they make are huge, but they don't really follow through with them. And this is mostly why Under Armour is failing at being sustainable, and the challenges that they face when it comes to being corporate socially responsible. And all they need to do is just start to follow through with their claims and actually do what they're claiming to do.
Yeah, and now we're going to present our own experiences on CSR. And yeah, for me, CSR was always a very important point, even before this project. But there are also some things I observed during this project, especially in the past. For example, in the past I worked for a company, for a big fashion company, and they always had the clothes that were delivered in plastic bags. And back then I thought, it's necessary to protect the clothes and to keep it clean. But during the CSR project, I realized that there are a lot of possibilities for a company, even here, to change the behavior. For example, to do something that is recyclable or anything. And another example is also that I went to a restaurant earlier, and there I always used the opportunity to get the leftovers of the restaurant for a cheaper price, and back then I never recognized this as a CSR activity, but today I know that this is a CSR activity to avoid any leftovers.
So for my CSR experience, I can honestly say that I did not really know in the beginning of this block what corporate social responsibility was. Now I can say that I'm very much aware of what it is. I know how to incorporate it when it comes to business. I have understood why it's so important for companies to practice it, since we all want to save our planet and be as environmentally friendly as possible. I've learned a lot this block, mostly about how I should behave when it comes to being myself socially responsible when it comes to this. So I have started to take more notice of recycling and not using as much plastic as I did before. And I have come to care about what I actually do, while as before I didn't really see the point of it, nor did I know why exactly it was done the way it was done.
For me, I also need to acknowledge that before this project I did not really consider what corporate social responsibility meant. Even though I have memories from all my life, just for example, when I lived with my mom, we always recycled, and she kind of forced us to recycle everything at home, but I never really thought about what it actually means and why we actually do it. I knew that it serves a greater purpose, but I have never really thought about how important it is. But after our project, I think we learned a lot of things, and the classes were interesting. And yes, so I think we all understood that it's actually more important than mostly people think it is. And also now every time when I need to take out the recycling trash bin, then I think that each recycled bottle, for example, saves a little duck.
For me as well, I didn't know exactly what corporate social responsibility was or meant, but now of course I learned it to adjust it also in a business, for example, a restaurant. Yeah, well, I've become more aware of what I'm doing at home. I try to eat like less meat a week, or for example recycle. And I never knew how important corporate social responsibility was actually for businesses until now, because I've become aware that people would prefer to go, for example, eat in a restaurant that is busy with CSR instead of a company that's not busy but it has better food. So companies will also make more profit working with CSR, and that's a really good thing. And yeah, I just think everyone needs to be aware what they're doing and be more careful what they're eating or buying or doing.
And here are our references, what we used, and thank you for the attention.